What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Detroit Pistons, and we're going to be talking about if Deandre Ayton is actually a good fit for this team, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, the offseason has started for almost every NBA team except for the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, and one of the biggest questions of this offseason already is where will Deandre Ayton end up signing? And the Detroit Pistons have emerged as one of the front runners, and this is mostly because we have some of the most cap space in the NBA, and we'll actually be able to afford the big man. And when we look at the Detroit Pistons and we look at Deandre Ayton, will it be a good fit? Not only do I think it will be a good fit, but I think it will be a perfect fit. And I think it starts with our best player. You look at Cade Cunningham, I think he's the most effective when he's running the pick and roll, when he's able to hunt for mismatches and he can pick apart the defense. And Cade Cunningham has proved that he's a dangerous three-level scorer, and he's also a dangerous playmaker. So I think when you pair him with a guy like Deandre Ayton, when those two guys run the pick and roll, it'll unlock so many different things for the Detroit Pistons offense. And just to put it into perspective, like I said, Cade Cunningham, he attracts so much attention from the defense. As soon as he come across that screen, everybody is looking at him. But now with Deandre Ayton, the center will rarely ever leave him to double team. So now Cade is coming off that screen and he's getting a bunch of open looks. And once Cade starts to take advantage of that, he starts to score the basketball. Now the defense has to react. Now that center, he's going to get a little bit more undisciplined, and he's going to start to leave Deandre Ayton. And Deandre Ayton is so skilled. There's a lot of different things that he can do coming off that slip, rolling hard to the rim. And now with Deandre Ayton, with him getting dunks, getting alley-oops at the rim, now the defense is going to have to react in a different way. And Cade Cunningham, this all starts with Cade. His basketball IQ is so high, and he knows how to make these reads. And now with Deandre Ayton doing damage in the paint, now the defense is going to have to react in a whole another different way. Now we're going to see help come from different areas. We're going to see weak side help, whether it's from the corner or from the wing, and then that's going to leave wide open shooters like Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bey wide open, and both those guys excel at shooting catch and shoot threes. So that's all I'm saying, that is with these two guys running the pick and roll so effectively, it's going to generate open shots from everywhere. And that's kind of what we saw with the Phoenix Suns, with Deandre Ayton and Chris Paul. Whenever they ran that pick and roll, it just led to so many open shots for other Phoenix Suns players. And it just doesn't stop there with Deandre Ayton. He's good enough to where the Pistons could throw him the ball down in the post and he could dominate down there. He has the baby hook over both shoulders. Once he gets the ball under the rim, it's a guaranteed finish. And then also he can step out and hit the mid-range. He can hit catch and shoot mid-range shots. He has the post fade. And then if he's really in rhythm and he's feeling it, he can step out and hit that three-point shot. So, Deandre Ayton has a really well-rounded offensive game, and he'll be great with the Detroit Pistons offensively. And then we also have to take into account defense, because basketball is an offensive and defensive game. And he's not known for being a great defender, but I wouldn't say that he's a defensive liability. And there's definitely areas he can grow in on the defensive side of the ball. But Deandre Ayton is 6'11", 7 feet, so that makes him already a decent rim protector, and he is solid at blocking shots. And I would think he's pretty mobile for a big his size. He gets out on the perimeter and he can move his feet. And I'm not saying like I said, he's not known for being a great defender, but he's not known for being a defensive liability either. There's definitely room for improvement. So that's Deandre Ayton as on the court. And then what I like about him, I like that he fits with our timeline. Right now, Deandre Ayton is only 23 years of age, and by the time training camp will start, he will be 24. And the Detroit Pistons are a young developing team. I think the oldest player on the team might be Corey Joseph or Kelly Olynyk, maybe Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is 28 years of age, but other than those three guys, everybody else are young developing players. So I think that would be a plus for the Detroit Pistons, because I think Deandre Ayton is also still at his developing stage as well. So I think he fits with the Detroit Pistons, and I would love to see him in our offense. I think it will unlock so many different things. And there's people out there that might disagree with me. For example, a beat writer for Bleacher Report, Greg Schwartz, he made an article titled the worst landing spots for Deandre Ayton, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said that the Pistons made this list because Deandre Ayton, he wouldn't like going from a championship contending team to a lottery dwelling team. And I think that argument doesn't make any sense for two reasons. The first reason is I'm pretty sure if Deandre Ayton was to come to the Detroit Pistons, not Cade Cunningham, but Dwayne Casey and Troy Weaver, they will sit down with him and have that conversation and let him know that this will be a completely different situation than the one in Phoenix. And then secondly, if we look at this core, let's say if Deandre Ayton actually does come to the Pistons and we have a core of Cade Cunningham, Saddiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Deandre Ayton, Killian Hayes, and Marvin Bagley, would they really still be a lottery dwelling team? I think they would be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, and not to mention the 5th overall pick that would be thrown into that mix. I think they would be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, and I think they would be a wild card. I think they would be making a lot of noise, and I think by the time in 2-3 years, they will be one of the most dangerous teams in the Eastern Conference. So I think that's two reasons why that argument doesn't really make any sense. And then I think the real question that should be being asked is if Deandre Ayton, not if he's a good fit in Detroit, but if he's worth a max contract. And if we look at Deandre Ayton since he's come into the league, he has no all-star game appearances, and he doesn't really have any accolades. And me personally, when I talk about players getting a max contract, I'll always say they at least need to have like an all-NBA selection or all-star game under their belt. But I think with this case with Deandre Ayton, I think it's a little bit different, only because the Detroit Pistons is a team where if you look at our history, we really don't get that many big names in free agency. And we look at the other guys in this free agency class, guys that's unrestricted free agents. You got guys like Zach LaVine, James Harden, you got Kyrie Irving. All those guys are really good players, and those are all guys that the Detroit Pistons could throw max money at. But we all know none of those guys are coming here, and also they don't really fit our age timeline that well. Those aren't young developing players. And I think Deandre Ayton, I think even though he hasn't made an all-star game and he hasn't made any all-NBA teams, I think the Detroit Pistons should still offer him the max contract and the amount of money he's looking for. Now, the Phoenix Suns, he would be able to get $170 million plus, and I think any other team can offer him $130 million plus, and that for the Detroit Pistons, that'll round out to about $30 million a year. And Kelly Olynyk, he's scheduled to make $13 million next season, and if we can trade him, I think that'll give the Detroit Pistons a lot more cap space, and we could afford both Deandre Ayton and Jeremy Grant. But other than that, Deandre Ayton has been solid throughout his career. He's averaged a double-double for the last 2 seasons, and I think he's going to continue to get better. But that's my thoughts on it. I would love to have Deandre Ayton a part of the Detroit Pistons, and that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down what you think below. Would Deandre Ayton fit with the Pistons or not? And then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.